Welcome back to the Build a Nation Challenge. The Faroe Islands are known for their spectacular nature, but not so much for their football. However, we aim to change that in the future. Before we get ahead of ourselves, we must survive our promotion to the Meistaradeildin, the best league. I believe it will be quite challenging, but not impossible. I'd call this first season a transitional one, as we still have many unwanted players on wages we can't use for new quality signings.
This isn't happening fast enough. Get him out of there!
This could be our biggest hurdle for success in the upcoming season. Financially, the board is giving us a budget of £9,235 in wages.
Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, 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 money.
But that would definitely bankrupt us. More realistically, I hope to limit myself to around £4,500. Unless we place in the top 4, to secure European competition, there won't be much more money compared to the first division. In other words, we need to control our expenditures tightly for long-term success. Yes, you can call me the broke Daniel Levy. It's likely we will lose Patrick Højbjerg in the transfer window, along with other key players who might become unhappy if not allowed to leave for better clubs. We arrive in January after playing a handful of friendlies, with not much news over the past 2 months. But I have been busy, as you can see, and the transfer window is about to open. Let's see what we have. Starting with our new striker, 21-year-old Jakob Hummelen. He's definitely going to be our first choice, and I hope he nets a minimum of 15 goals given his attributes. My only concern is that he might be slightly injury-prone, and his wages will be €100. Another starter is 26-year-old Norwegian Bessijan Kastrati, who can play various roles. I brought him in as an attacking midfielder, where he should contribute goals and assists. He has nice flair and decent technical skills, earning £50 in wages. Jakob Wilhelmsen, a 20-year-old left fullback, is likely to start. I hope he improves upon Egilson, especially since we're paying £220 per week for him. That might be a mistake, but with his 19 determination and driven personality, he could also be a valuable asset. Joachim Arvidsson is an 18-year-old defensive midfielder. I signed him 6 months ago, and now he arrives. He's a promising youngster who will have plenty of game time to develop, costing us £0 in wages. Paul Karlsberg, a 21-year-old inside forward, has already proven himself in this league with Vikingur last season. He's a direct rival to Højbjerg and could replace him if he leaves. With a flair of 19 and solid stats, he's a bargain at £110 in wages. Christian Martin Jakobsen, a 28-year-old who can play as either a fullback or centre-back, will serve as a third option. He's more of a workhorse and squad depth signing, costing £35. Einar Thorsteinsson, our last addition, is a 24-year-old winger I plan to use as a backup inside forward on the left. He may not be special, and could prove not worth the £30 we spent on him. Time will tell. While I believe our squad looks decent with these improvements, I'm fully prepared for the possibility of losing some of them soon.
I don't have a headache. I'm just preparing.
We still have leftover wages compared to the £4,500, £500 I set, which is good. I've decided to spend an additional £150 per week on a new inside forward. Aaron Knudsen is likely to be our starting player on the right side, but also offers versatility, as he can play as an attacking midfielder or left fullback. Alright, so 2 months later, on March 2nd, absolutely nothing happened. It's almost borderline.
This is... What? This is boring. Delete.
The transfer window closes on the 13th, but it's good we haven't seen any action on the market, allowing us to prepare through friendlies. Tactically, I think we have a very good setup that suits our players well. I don't buy players for specific positions, but I do lean toward favorite roles and attributes. The media predicts us to finish in 8th place, with odds of 201 to win it. So, we're not expected to win, but I'll take 8th place since that's just above relegation.
What? What an idiot! Oh, what a loser!
I believe we can do a bit better and perhaps finish 6th. Starting this season, we face B68, predicted to finish 6th, so it would be great to start with a win. However, they are easily as good as our players. Well, I look foolish now, as Knudsen runs straight at them with ease and delivers the ball to Hummeland after just 2 minutes of play. Maybe we are better than them. Yes, we do look like the stronger team, but Hummeland is offside this time. Not good. An injury to our new fullback Wilhelmsen. I hope it's not serious. Thiago Almeida finds space out wide and delivers a pinpoint cross to Hummeland, who is loving his debut. And so am I. This is incredible. Take a look at this goal. A fantastic play from the start of the attack to the end. This is a 1 in 100 goal. Oh yeah, and Hummeland gets a hat trick. This could end up as a big result. Carlsberg finds Knudsen at the back post, bringing it to 4-0 just 51 minutes in. Almost a fourth for Hummeland, but again offside. He's already scored 5 times, but it hasn't been counted. Full time, a 4-0 result. Hummeland earns a 10 rating. This is a perfect start for us. Nothing to complain about. Okay, I'm learning something new in football management every year. This one is new to me. Apparently, we cannot use players on amateur contracts for more than 1 match in Meistaradeildin. That's a massive problem.
The more immediate problem is that we're fucked.
Nothing in the league rules suggests this is true, so it must be a hidden rule created by the custom database.
Not cool. Not cool!
Well, we need to adapt and overcome. I think we need to use more than the £4,500 initially planned for in the final days of the transfer window. We need to resign players on part-time contracts and find replacements for those we can't keep. Out of the 8 players on mature contracts, it seems only Cruz will sign a new one. While I always thought Højbjerg would leave, I did not expect the urgency to replace 7 other players this late in the window. Of course, we had to play the next game before making any arrangements, and we completely destroyed last season's big rivals, Stramer, 6-0. With some stunning goals, Johnson scores a blast from long range, as does Castrati right after, not to mention Bache strike from 45 yards out. Come on guys, save some for later in the season. First replacement coming in. Jakob Thomsen is essentially a rival for the starting striker or inside forward roles. I primarily needed an extra player on the right side, but he's probably best deployed from the left or up front. Hummeland can also play on the right, so it's not a bad deal. Increasing our overall quality for £210 per week. We definitely needed extra help in midfield. Emil Johnson isn't a starter but is very cheap at only £5 a week and should provide decent backup. Now, for a big signing. Assi Dam, a 22-year-old fullback, will definitely be a starter. I'm unsure which side he'll play on, depending on where we need him most. Best of all, his wages are only £65, and we secured him on a 3-year contract. Giancarlo Scorup, an 18-year-old central defender from Croatia, is also joining. He occupies one of our foreigner slots, but we have room for him. I see him as a second option on either side of the backline, and, with time, likely a starter. The downside is that he costs us £200 per week. Finally, Lucas Giesing, another quality signing as a fullback, comes in on fairly cheap wages of £130. We needed 5 players. I got 5 players, all in just 4 days, with 6 hours left on deadline day. I'm quite proud of this, as we not only got what we needed in depth, but we also significantly improved our starting 11. I only went £242 over my initial budget, and I'm very happy with how this turned out. Thiago Almeida also signed a £5 sterling contract, though I'm unsure how much he'll play as his physicals are deteriorating quickly. We followed our good start with another win against B36, though it came with a 7-week injury to Selmunder Besh. Next, we face Klaksvíkar Íþróttafelag, the biggest club in the Faroe Islands. This will be tough away from home. Not surprisingly, they take the lead. We were pushed back and punished for it. Knudsen passes back to Gottfried, who finds Jessing, delivering a brilliant cross to Hummeland. Great goal, but it's offside. In the 89th minute, we win a free kick, and we do well to win the second header, but yet another offside goal. The final score is 1-0. We can be fairly happy here. Although we didn't get the result, it shows we can compete against the best in the league and come very close. That feels like a win. We play another 5 matches, including a loss to NSI, who currently sit at the top of the table. Not the worst loss ever, but we follow it up with 4 wins, including a cup game that went into extra time to secure a spot in the quarterfinals. To my surprise, we sit with 18 points after the first 8 games, placing us second in the league. We have a match against Tarfalag Fuglafjörfjardar coming up.
Try saying that 5 times faster.
They're in 7th place, so I thought we'd be battling for mid-table spots. However, we seem closer to the top than anticipated. If we can consistently win against these teams, we might even contend for the title. All good things must come to an end. They start strong with a floaty cross that Clausen should either catch or not go for, as he's caught in no man's land. Oh boy, it ended 1-0 with very few highlights, but according to the statistics, we were the better team.
All I can do right now is put on a brave face and go out there and be their leader.
It's over. We are screwed.
Perhaps we're not quite title contenders after all. Back in the cup, we needed extra time again to win against FC Hoivik, followed by a big win against Stramer, and a disappointing result against B68, where we should have won by any stretch of the imagination. Then, we had a fairly standard 2-1 result against B36. There were some incredible goals in this period, with Salmundur Beck's low torpedo shot and Johnson blasting it into the top corner from range. After 12 games, we sit 3rd in the league with 25 points, and we are close to halfway through the season. So how are the players performing? Well, most are doing quite well, but let's highlight the best and worst. Paul Karlsberg is taking over where Hujbjerg left us. Well, he didn't really leave, but he can't play. Karlsberg is not only replacing him, but also outperforming last season's youngster with 9 goals, making him the top scorer, along with 6 assists, which is a shared high number in 12 league games. He's also the highest rated player with an average of 7.69 across all competitions. A star player for us. Another top performer is Aaron Knudsen, who has played as both an attacking midfielder and inside forward, achieving decent outcomes either way. He has 12 games, 3 goals, 5 assists, and an average rating of 7.25. An important player for us. Salmundur Besh is worth mentioning too, with a 7.31 rating in midfield, along with 2 goals and 2 assists. While I wouldn't say any players are directly awful so far, maybe Victor Pastor could do slightly better. If a center back with a 6.78 rating is our worst, we're doing just fine. A massive game is coming up against Klaksvíkar Íþróttafelag, who is 1 point ahead of us and won the last encounter, so revenge would be sweet.
I've been looking forward to this.
We are in the conversation for a European competition spot, which I believe is top 4.
Twice the pride, double the fall.
Things start well, as after just 4 minutes, Hummelin finds himself onside, one-on-one with their goalkeeper, and perfectly places it over him, giving us the lead. Another 4 minutes in, and it's double trouble for Klaksvíkar.
Prepare for trouble.
Make it double.
As Karlsberg doubles the lead with an excellent shot inside the box. At halftime, we not only lead by 2, but we are also completely dominating the match, having only given away 1 chance so far. Knudsen crosses from the right, and at the back post, the star, Karlsberg, makes it 3-0. Just 3 minutes after being subbed in, Thiago Almeida shows up at the edge of the area, controls the ball perfectly, and takes his shot in the box. It's 4-0. Unbelievable. Full time. And what a moment to be a Suðuroy supporter. Beating the biggest club 4-0 in our first season in this division is kind of crazy. Player of the match? Obviously Karlsberg with his 2 goals. Imagine not winning the Player of the Month award after scoring 6 times and delivering 1 assist with a 7.8 rating. What on earth is going on? The summer transfer window has opened. Not that we need anything, but we could end up losing someone. Next match is another significant one. Perhaps the biggest, against Nýja Sóknar Íþróttafelag. If they win, they will likely secure the league title. Hopefully we can stop them, and later close the gap. Oh boy, not what we want to see. Johnson pushes one of their players, giving away a penalty. Clausen doesn't come close to saving it either. Abdul plays it over the top to Karlsberg, who heads it toward Hummeland, and he slots it in. A nice goal, but unfortunately, it's offside. It ends 1-0 to them, not entirely undeserved. They were the better team on the pitch today. With them winning over us, they are likely to run away with the title. The transfer window closed again, and nothing really happened. Not necessarily a bad thing. We follow up with another big win against Vikingur, followed by a 3-1 win over Stramer in the first leg of the semi-finals in the Cup, finishing the early summer month of June. We then play 3 friendlies to keep our sharpness and win against Havanar Boltfelag. Carlsberg got injured in that game, which is a massive blow to our team, bringing us to August, where we continue our fine form with 2 more wins. Despite those results, we are still nowhere near first place. However, we surely look like the second best team, with an 8-point lead over Klaksvíkar Íþróttafelag in third. I'm extremely happy, as we are doing significantly better than expected. Next up is Stramer, which on paper should be a win, but you never know when fortune turns.
Too easy, Zlatan wins always.
Call me a fortune teller. Of course, we don't start well and go behind after a well-executed attack by Stramer. Thorsteinsson is pushed in the back, and we're awarded a penalty. Castrati steps up, and he goes straight down the line, sending the goalie the wrong way. All even again. After a failed corner kick, Knudsen ends up with the ball at a narrow angle and takes his chance. Good call, as Nedergaard Jensen helps it past his own goalkeeper. Thank you, kind sir. There we go, a 2-1 win. It was a fairly close game, but with the help of their defender, we grabbed all 3 points. Interesting news, our second team has already been promoted to the first division next season, and I suspect they will win it as well. I'd love to say we achieved another 2 wins later, but unfortunately, we lost one of them while also scheduling a friendly. Now, onto some big games. First up is Klaksvíkar Íþróttafelag, who are 9 points behind us. A win would guarantee us second place, while a loss would open up a fierce battle for that spot. This is not looking good. They have 4 highlights within 14 minutes, and during one of those they score, but thankfully it's offside. We make it to the second half, but they finally score. We lose 1-0, but it could have been worse. It's more likely we would have lost 2-0 instead of drawing 1-1. So we're heading into the final stages of the season, with Klaksvíkar Íþróttafelag breathing down our neck. Our second team has won the second division, as predicted. The second important match is, of course, against Meistaradeildin Íþróttafelag, who are sure to win the league. The question is, will they also help Klaksvíkar Íþróttafelag by beating us and allowing them to catch up? This time around, we start strong. Giesing picks up the second ball after a corner and half volleys it, hitting Pastor's head more by accident than on purpose, but I'll take it. Not sure if they believe they have already won the league, but they are in the mood to give out presents, and we gladly take them. We're up 2-0. That was a surprising result. 2-0 against the league leaders. They improved in the second half and got close to scoring, but somehow we walk away with all 3 points. We play Vikingur and lose, then Havanar Boltfelag, where we also lose, before finally winning against Vester. I made a mistake thinking Klaksvíkar Íþróttafelag won their last match and were on the same points as us, but I was wrong. This means we have qualified for the Europa Conference League and secured second place in the league. However, things aren't quite over yet. We have one last league game, which is not crucial, but we also have the cup, where we won the first leg 3-1. Alright, here we go for a spot in the final, and with the lead we have, it should be achievable. It's a pretty boring game until this happens. Beck pulls the trigger, and what a shot it is. We are also awarded a late penalty, but at this point, we've basically already won. Good old Thiago Almeida steps up to the spot and slots it in. There we go. We're in the final with a 5-1 result on aggregate. I went with a fully rotated squad in the last league game against Íþróttafelag Fuglafjarðar, who happens to be our opponent 6 days later in the final. Hopefully, we'll have the last laugh in this duel. Carlsberg won Player of the Year for Faroese players. Nice. Hummelen won Young Player of the Season. Our youth team has won the U21 Staplecapping Cup. I love to see it. Alright then, it's the last game, hopefully with silverware at the end of it. 6 minutes in, we are awarded a penalty due to a silly mistake by them. Castrati steps up to the spot but misses. You silly boy.
Got some bad news for you. You're fucking done, son! It's over!
You know who isn't going to make any mistakes? Yes, that's right. Carlsberg on the back post. Get in. Another player who has been great with his head is Hummeland, who finds the net from a corner. We won the cup. Fantastic. What a season it was. We finished second with 52 points in our first season in Meistaradeildin, keeping wages and finances under control, and now we have a cup trophy in the cabinet. We have players like Carlsberg, Victor Pastor, and Ossie Dam, all young players who are already doing well this season but could still get better. Speaking of players, Paul Carlsberg is obviously the star of this season, with 17 goals, 6 assists, and a 7.25 rating in his 25 games. Brilliant. Besijan Castrati is also up there with 14 goals, 4 assists, and a 7.44 rating in his 24 games. Finn Johnson, Mr. Reliable, deserves the first player on the board award again, playing pretty much every game and getting a 7.04 rating. Also worthy of mention is his partner in midfield, Salmundur Beck, who has a 7.1 rating in 22 games. If anyone deserves the most disappointing award this season, it has to be Jakob Thompson, who only managed to score 5 times, with 1 assist in 15 games and 12 substitute appearances. Not really good enough. Let's check up on the teams in Europe and see how they did. Klaksvíkar Tarfalag got through the first round in the Champions League, which is good. They also, for the first time, made it through the second qualifier. I'm getting excited now. Unfortunately, they lost in the third qualifier to Faroese. Did the teams in the Conference League do any better? Well, not B68. They are out. And so is Nes Soknar Tarfalag. Thankfully, Vikingur at least managed to get to the second round but lost to a team I've never heard of in the second qualifier. Nice. We have moved up to 35th place in the coefficient ranking. This means we get a qualifier 2 spot instead of 3 qualifier 3 spots for the Conference League. That spot is given to either the cup winner or second place in the league. Fantastic for us, as we got both. With that, a long but incredible season comes to an end.
Okay, folks, if you don't see me again, it's 'cause I'm dead.